Good evening and welcome to Arizona Illustrated for Tuesday, the 24th of April, 2012. Thousands of people in our community become crime victims each year, but there are programs that can help by providing services and education. This month is Sexual Assault Awareness and Child Abuse Prevention Month. Also, National Crime Victims' Rights Week got underway on Sunday, and tonight we are joined by two guests who address these topics. Barbara LaWall is the Pima County Attorney, and Montserrat Caballero is the Director of SACASA, the Southern Arizona Center Against Sexual Assault. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Let's begin with you, Barbara LaWall. If you could, what is Victims' Rights Week all about? What is the goal or the mission behind this?
Well, you know, until 1990, crime victims in Arizona had no rights whatsoever. They were excluded from the courtroom. They weren't allowed to talk to the judge or give their input on anything. They got a constitutional amendment and statutes that now changed everything. So people who are victims of crime now have the same rights as defendants. They have a right to be present, they have a right to give input, and we honor them because without crime victims' involvement in the criminal justice system, you know, we wouldn't be able to do our job and hold criminals accountable for the harm that they engender against people.
All right. And Montserrat, what is the Southern Arizona Center Against Sexual Assault all about?
Yeah, we're essentially the rape crisis center for this community. The Center Against Sexual Assault is now a member agency of Arizona's Children Association, and we provide 24/7 telephone and hospital response for either recent or past sexual assault survivors, people who have a question or a concern about a friend or a loved one or for themselves. We also provide therapy, either individual, family, or in group. We do a lot of community education outreach, and we do prevention education for youth.
Okay. And Victims' Rights Week here in Southern Arizona began on Sunday with a major event. What was that all about?
It did. It was a candlelight vigil to honor those persons who've lost their lives at the hands of a drunk driver, sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Drivers.
Okay. And then on Tuesday, earlier, we had the Preventing Dating Violence event. What was that about? And then if you could tell us about tomorrow, Wednesday.
Well, the Preventing Dating Violence was an event sponsored by the County Attorney's Office as part of Victims' Rights Weeks. And tomorrow, Wednesday, April 25th, is SACASA's end to the month-long activities that we've had all month long, really successful. We have our Denim Day, which is a celebration, and actually international celebration to dispel harmful sexual assault myths. So what we ask people to do is to wear denim, whether they can actually wear denim at work or if they're not allowed to because of uniforms, et cetera, they can wear pins that the Center Against Sexual Assault is selling. And we also have Dine Out for Safety. Dine Out for Safety is our signature fundraiser and awareness event, and we partner with 27 local restaurants, and they give us up to 20% of the proceeds and allow us to sell raffle tickets the night of. So
Denim Day has a very intriguing background, or history. What is that all about for people that might not have ever heard of this?
Denim Day was a response to an Italian Supreme Court judgment in 1998 where they actually overturned a sexual assault conviction. A young girl was sexually assaulted by her driving instructor, and the reason that the sexual assault conviction was overturned is because she was wearing jeans. And the thought process of the judges was, well, if you're wearing jeans are really tight, and there's no way that somebody can sexually assault you because you had to help to take the jeans off, and so therefore that means you gave permission. And there was just this really huge international outcry because it just got at the heart of so many misconceptions about what sexual assault is and is not. And so we honor sexual assault survivors internationally every year in Denim Day to say we reject the thinking that victims are the ones that are at fault if they are victimized by a perpetrator if they're sexually assaulted.
Even my office, which normally is not permitted to wear jeans, has got permission on Denim Day to wear jeans, and they pay $1 and the money goes to SACASA.
Oh, okay, fantastic. And that's where some people can get involved and help out. And then finally, we have two events on Saturday. Can you tell us about those two, please?
Yeah, these are our premier events of the week. First of all, we've partnered with the Fund for Civility, Respect, and Understanding, and we've put together some anti-bullying efforts. We've asked school kids to film them, and we're going to be showing the films and announcing the winners, and these are like PSAs that will be airing on television to stop bullying. It's really important. It's at the Loft. It's from 10 to 12. And it's open free to the public, and I hope everybody comes to see what these kids have put together. I have not even gotten a preview of the films yet. So it should be a fun little event, and we really do need to end bullying in our public schools. The second event is in conjunction with homicide survivors, and it's a very serene, very impactful event at Children's Memorial Park, right off of Oracle and River Road at 6 p.m. on Saturday night. It's a candlelight vigil to honor all of those individuals whose lives have been lost as a result of being murdered.
Okay. And Montserrat, what would you like to say about sexual assault and how people can get involved? We only have a few seconds here, but what is your message to the average person who may have never had any situation like this happen?
Well, 1 in 5 Arizonans will be the victim of a sexual assault. 5 in 5 Arizonans can do something about it. So I think that if you support SACASA, come and dine out. You can go to dineoutforsafety.com to find out more and get engaged with your local rape crisis center. And
your brief message to people about how they can make a difference, Barbara LaWall?
Well, if you see a crime, call 88-CRIME. If you have any knowledge, make sure that you report it. And then participate in some of these events. Some of them are open to the public. We would love to have people come and be a participant and understand what it is that crime victims go through and the way in which they assist and help the criminal justice system and help us do our jobs.
Okay, well, thank you very much to both of you for coming in. Good luck with all of the activities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The U.S. Supreme Court is scheduled to hear the case of Arizona's controversial SB 1070, which is supposed to provide a valuable weapon to fight illegal immigration in the state. However, since signed into law in 2010, it has led to lawsuits and other problems. Next, Michael Chihak speaks with the director of One Arizona, an organization that describes itself as a nonpartisan coalition that wants to increase voter registration and participation.
Tell us, what is One Arizona?
So One Arizona is a coalition of 11 nonprofits that covers the full state of Arizona. And it's a coalition that focuses on various aspects of civic engagement, from citizenship to voter registration to voter turnout, and eventually to voter leadership development and voter public advocacy.
And you told me that One Arizona was formed as a result of and in the wake of the passage of SB 1070 here in Arizona, right?
Right. SB 1070 was the impetus for One Arizona. It was a way for various organizations who work throughout the state of Arizona to kind of come together and say, this is a real issue. This is an issue that's going to impact Latinos across the state. It works better if we come to a table together and say, how can we help and how can we work to understand what this bill means to the community and work to advocate the community, or to educate the community so they understand how to advocate for themselves against SB 1070 and other bills like it that really work to disenfranchise Latinos from the process.
And you have a position on SB 1070, correct?
We do. It was born out of 1070, and ever since the start, we are anti-1070. We do not see 1070 as a way to immigration reform. We see it as a barrier to Latinos, not immigrants, Latinos in general, to understand and be a part of the civic experience in Arizona.
But otherwise, in politics, taking sides is not a part of what One Arizona does.
No, One Arizona is a nonpartisan coalition. We don't advocate for or against any party or any elected official. We are there strictly to give a voice to those folks who have felt disenfranchised from the process and to understand why it matters to be engaged, why it matters to vote, why it matters to volunteer, why it matters to question what your legislators are doing and whether or not they're truly representing your community's needs.
Those on the pro side of SB 1070 say that it has jump-started a national conversation about immigration. Has it also, on your side of the ledger, jump-started the coalition, certainly, but other activities in relation to mobilizing the Latino vote?
Absolutely. I think 1070, pro or against, it did jump-start not just a conversation, but an activation. Folks outside of One Arizona, organizations, have been saying enough is enough. Everybody truly wants a sensible immigration platform and a sensible immigration response. 1070 is not it. And it doesn't work, and it hasn't worked, and the folks who were purporting that it did were using falsehoods.
Now, the work of the coalition members in One Arizona involves civic engagement, citizenship, voter registration, get out the vote campaigns. What kind of results are you seeing from those efforts?
Right. Well, from 2010, when it was started as a direct response to SB 1070, ever since then, it's been tremendous. We registered in that first year over all of our 11 coalition partners, close to 50,000 folks on the permanent early voting list. So that's folks who are receiving their ballots in the mail and thinking about how they want to vote and whether or not elected officials are responding to their issues. We turned out 90,000 new low-propensity Latino voters to the Arizona's voting roster. Those are folks who probably would not have voted had it not been for the coalesced efforts of One Arizona. That's just in 2010. In 2011, we made a concerted effort within the Phoenix municipal elections to turn out voters in low-performing districts in Maricopa County. And we saw in one district voter turnout that went up 500% specifically for these low-propensity Latino voters and mirrored almost within 2 percentage points what overall turnout is usually for a municipal election.
And do you suppose that some of those people may be people who felt disenfranchised either by SB 1070 or other political actions?
Oh, we don't suppose we know. We know from our conversations that folks are finally feeling they have to get out there and vote, that this is a direct, our voter turnout is a direct response to SB 1070. Folks do feel that pressure, whether they're first generation or fifth generation Latino. They do feel that pressure, and they know they need to be out there, they need to be advocating, and they need to be voting. And voting is the one key way that they can send a clear, concise message to their elected officials from the city all the way on up to the presidency that they're paying attention and they want respect.
Some of the results you described sounds like the stirrings of the awakening of what's been referred to as the sleeping giant, and that is that gigantic and growing Latino population that so far doesn't really engage in a big way in politics and civics. Is that happening in Arizona?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Folks are really seeing, folks who aren't yet citizens but are in the process are seeing that once they become citizens that they can have a vote. Folks who are citizens are seeing that it's a detriment to them to not be engaged and that they need to model that behavior not just for themselves and for their community right now but for their children, because if they don't show why voting matters now, they can't expect for their communities to be better for their children. And Latinos care about family, and we're really pushing that.
Are there any kind of contingency plans in place or being formed to react to whatever the decision is on SB 1070 at the Supreme Court, which it'll probably come in the next 2 or 3 months?
We're not really going to focus on what the Supreme Court does. We're going to focus on our grassroots efforts. We didn't focus on that. We didn't focus on what the governor said when she signed SB 1070. We focused on what the community said as a result of 1070, and that's what we're going to continue to do. We're going to continue to offer through our partners citizenship fairs so folks can become citizens. We're going to continue to register folks to vote. We're going to continue to make sure people sign up to get their ballots by mail. We're going to continue to make sure that there are election protection laws in place so that folks can make sure their ballots are heard. We're going to continue to educate our volunteers and those within the community to understand that they can be the elected official, and if they don't like the way their communities are represented, they should be out there advocating and running for office if they think they can do it and they can fulfill the needs of their community. So whether or not the Supreme Court, whatever they decide about 1070, it doesn't matter. Our work will continue until we're making sure that the voting is part of the Latino experience.
It was another time when Americans thought prosperity would last forever.
So many people made so much money in the market, it seemed that you just couldn't go wrong.
The crash of 1929 on American Experience.
Tonight at 8 on PBS HD, Arizona Public Media.
One of Southern Arizona's largest annual events is marking a major milestone this year. The Tucson International Mariachi Conference is celebrating its 30th anniversary, and the parties are expected to be huge. However, the event is also moving from its traditional home in downtown Tucson to a Native American casino. Joining us with the details are Delfina Alvarez, board member of the conference, and Nicolina Torreros. She is a junior at Choya High School and a student participant in the Mariachi Conference. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for inviting us.
Delfina, so we were talking just a few minutes ago prior to this interview. You began as a volunteer 3 decades ago, and what do you want to say about this big celebration now?
Well, you know, I never thought we would be having 30 years and celebrating. And I think every year I used to say, this is it. This is the last year. And then we would be challenged and say, oh, no, we got to go another year. We got to make it to our 25th. And I think it's really exciting. I don't know if it's the most appropriate that we are moving to the casino. I think a new venue is kind of a new adventure. and I know a lot of the people are really excited about it. And I know the casino is booked for Friday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Nicolina, so how did your interest begin with mariachi music, and then how did that develop over the years?
Well, I started going to school at Davis Elementary, and there was after-school programs to learn how to play music. And I started under the direction of Dr. Valenzuela, and I first started playing the guitar, but then I realized I really didn't like it. And the violin always had my interest. And I started playing the violin, and then I started singing also.
Okay, now you are involved in 2 different mariachi groups?
Yes, right now I'm involved with Los Potrillos from Choya High School, and right now I'm in Los Changuitos Feos.
Okay, and Delfina, so this mariachi conference began as still a fundraiser for La Frontera, Arizona. What is that all about?
La Frontera, Arizona is a community social service agency, probably one of the largest in Arizona now, and it is serving the needs of the community. The conference started as a fundraiser for La Frontera. And I remember back during some of those years, we were able to make the difference with the pay, And then we got to a point that we weren't making money. So we hope that by moving to the casino that we're going to be able to start making money so that we can turn over, especially to the Child Family Center.
Okay. And Nicolina, so what is it like to be a student and be part of this huge event that has international recognition?
Oh my gosh, it's wonderful. It's a lifetime experience. It helps you build your self-esteem, getting on stage. You meet new people, and you also reunite with people from the past. So it's a great experience.
All right, let's go over the schedule a little bit, Delfina, if you would. It begins tomorrow on Wednesday, and what can people expect?
Right. Tomorrow is really for the students. It's registration, and then it's workshops. A lot of people don't really understand that the conference is actually part of it is the educational component, and students are in the classroom Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay. Open to the public is the student showcase, where participants are able to show what they know and what they have learned. And then we also have Fiesta Garibaldi, which is an all-day activity. It takes place on Saturday. Mariachis will be playing from 10 o'clock in the morning till about 11 o'clock at night. We have 2 stages. We have an outdoor stage around the swimming pool area, and we have a stage indoors, especially for people that want to get away from the heat. Something new this year that we have added is the students who participate in Showcase are going to be judged, and one group will be selected to open the concert on Friday night. We're really excited because we also have the group from Guadalajara, Mariachi Nuevo de Tecalitlan, will be playing, along with a female group, and of course, Sheila Durcal.
Okay. Very good. And then, Nicolina, finally, what would you like to say to somebody who's never sat down to enjoy some mariachi music, especially here in Southern Arizona?
Well, what I'll say is enjoy it, take advantage of what you're watching, and just have fun.
Okay, well, we hope you have a lot of fun, and you as well, Delfina. Lots of work after 30 years.
Lots of work. I just want to mention, I forgot to say, that on Saturday morning, we are having our traditional mass at the Alba Theater with Monsignor Raul Treviso, and we're really excited about that.
Okay, great. Good luck with everything. As Delfina Alvarez and Nicolina Torreros just mentioned in the interview, the annual Mariachi Conference provides a great learning opportunity for the next generation of musicians and performers. Tonight, we bring you an example from 2011, when reporter Luis Carrion caught up with educators and some of their students.
If there are superstars in the world of mariachi music, this group would be among them. Los Camperos de Naticano have been around for nearly 3 decades, and they're known for their polished musicianship.
pollos corriendo por la puerta y por la reja, por la puerta y por la reja, salen los pollos corriendo.
My name is Jesus Chuy Guzman. I'm a musical director of Mariachi Los Camperos de Naticano.
Jesus Guzman, or Chuy as he's known among friends, has been one of the lead instructors of the Tucson International Mariachi Conference since the group formed 28 years ago. He says this mass rehearsal is in preparation for the grand finale performance at the end of the conference.
Bueno, lo que vemos en el ensayo son los instrumentos del mariachi. Todos conocemos la trompeta, el violín, la guitarra acústica, que son instrumentos que vienen de Europa. Pero en sí lo interesante de esto es que vemos los auténticos instrumentos de México, que son hechos en México, como el guitarrón. La vihuela es de armonía, es acompañamiento, y el arpa jalisciense. Arpa jalisciense, arpa jarocha de Veracruz. Son los tres instrumentos mexicanos. Básicamente, en este ensayo vemos todo lo que se ensayó, durante los talleres.
It's the big-name headliners that are the main attraction at the grand finale. But for students like John Salazar, the conference is exciting and it's an opportunity to learn from some of the masters of this rich cultural tradition.
I hope a bunch of people look forward to this all year like I did. I was excited. I wanted to see the guitarrón player, Juan Jimenez, to come because I like how he plays and he teaches me stuff. I felt like a little girl excited to see him and stuff like that. But it was fun. I look forward to it all year just to learn new music and stuff, new style.
John is a member of Mariachi Aslan from Pueblo High School. For him and his fellow high school musicians, the love of mariachi music is something that didn't quite seem as cool at first.
I was into the original hip-hop, pop sort of things, and mariachi was far off from it. When I started high school, I heard mariachi and I was like, a lot of it is really good music. And I felt like I wanted to learn how to play.
Cynthia Quintero also plays with Mariachi Aslan, and she says that mariachi was not necessarily her first choice of music.
But my family is a big fan of mariachi. My grandpa that passed away, he was the only one who was involved with mariachi, and they were so happy with me because finally one of the family members was pursuing my tata's dream. So this is my third year playing, and I love it.
This was the 29th edition of the Tucson International Mariachi Conference, and it attracted hundreds of musicians seeking an opportunity to learn from some of the best.
I'm Enrique Lazansky, and I'm currently an orchestra and mariachi teacher at Safford Middle School here in downtown Tucson. I've been teaching music since 2001 in different schools.
Enrique Lazansky has a PhD in orchestral conducting, and he says this is his first time attending the Tucson International Mariachi Conference. He also points out that in this time of shrinking education budgets, this conference plays an even more important role in educating young musicians.
I am just so impressed with just the level of musicianship that mariachi entails. It's a combination of so many things, including classical music, operatic singing, native folk music. It just combines everything, and then you have the folklorico that goes along with it. So I'm just basically in awe of the level of musicianship and how beautiful the music is.
It's been shown that music can be a powerful component of a young person's education. And for the members of Los Camperos de Naticano, this conference is an opportunity to share the beauty of this rich cultural tradition with the next generation of musicians.
Y tratamos de enseñarles a los jóvenes nuestra tradición, nuestra música, y pues yo creo que se llevan un bonito recuerdo del Mariachi Los Camperos y de todos los instructores que colaboramos en este festival.
Next year will bring the 30th edition of the Tucson International Mariachi Conference, and Chuy says preparations are already underway.
In tonight's video postcard by photographer and editor Heather Woodrich, we take you to an annual neighborhood celebration. Fiesta Grande in Tucson's Barrio Hollywood includes music, a car show, and lots of food.
This fiesta has brought together the Hispanic community, the Chicano community, our neighborhood, entire Tucson. Every year we get an average between 45, 50, 60,000. Over the 10 years we have raised $100,000 for the El Rio Neighborhood Center. We have given out $20,000 in scholarships. Hollywood and we celebrate this fiesta, it breaks down any kind of barriers and everybody's family.
You can get more news and information on our website, azpm.org. To comment on any story you saw tonight, click on it online and go to the bottom. We can also be reached via Facebook and Twitter. Coming up tomorrow night, we'll have an in-depth conversation with Ron Barber, the Democratic candidate for U.S. Congressional District 8, which used to be held by his former boss, Gabrielle Giffords. Members of the community are getting ready for the Relay for Life events to help raise funds to fight cancer. And we'll tell you about the Civic Orchestra of Tucson and upcoming concerts. I'm Tony Paniagua. Have a great night.